What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to an AFK Journey video. Speaking of which, I hope you guys are having an amazing time playing this game. The journey is absolutely incredible and gorgeous. At the same time, I've seen a lot of people join the live stream tell me how much they love this game and that they're having a blast playing it. So with that being said, if you did watch my live stream, you probably know this already. I did promise I'll be playing this a lot more casually than I did the PTR, just because I want to enjoy it a little bit more and focus on just enjoying every bit of nook and cranny of this game and just take my time with it. So that, first off, I want to talk about is that don't rush. I know mobile gaming is all about being competitive, hitting ladder boards, trying to get yourself, the top spot on whatever the case may be, boss fights, arena, etc. But I find this game has the word AFK in it for a reason, and I really do want to take it less for granted this time, I should say. Only because I find that last time I rushed through everything, skipped a lot of things that I shouldn't have skipped, and this time around I do want to enjoy the actual game for what it is, and that is a gorgeous adventure RPG with a lot of cool features and things that you should enjoy. Now, with that being said, this is not why I'm here though. I'm here to give you guys the ultimate F2P tips and how to stay F2P and why F2P is the way to go for this game and why I think this is one of the most free-to-play friendly games out there, period. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about free-to-play and talk about why this game does it so well. So first off, remember a couple things here. Currencies come in this game very, very easily, okay? You're going to be able to get yourself what you want fairly easy by putting a little bit of effort. That is from exploration, doing the story mode, doing all the modes that are available to you in terms of Dream World, the labyrinth, the bosses, etc. Right? As you progress through the game, you're going to notice how easy it is to collect yourself summoning tokens, diamonds, gear, etc. As long as you have patience, you should be fine. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, if you play daily and you just go as casually as I am, you should be able to hit the max level, which is level 240 in this game, roughly I'd say about, give or take, 2 months in. So 60 days to 70 days, that should be all you need to actually get to the point where you need to be competitive and at the end game, and then you can focus on your resonance rather than leveling. Now remember, as a free-to-play player, you're not going to compete with whales. That's the first thing you want to remember, is your job is not to look at leaderboards, is not to be like, oh, I need to be number one in this thing or number one in that thing. Your job strictly as a free-to-play player is to enjoy the game for what it is, gain the rewards you need to gain from the game itself, and not focus too much on the fact that you're not first place or second place. That is what you do for as a whale and as a competitive dolphin, right? That's all you're there for. But as a free-to-play player, just enjoy the game for the beauty that it is. So number one, as a free-to-player tip, avoid the actual leaderboards as much as you possibly can. Where it matters the most as free-to-play player on leaderboards is things like Dream World, where you can get 100% on bosses, where you can compete. Although there are PvP modes, for example, if I show you guys a battle mode here, where you can, an honor duel, you can compete with whales and do really, really well in it, right? So there's different various modes you can do in these places where you're going to be perfectly fine. Like, look, if I check the rankings, look at this, number 1 top 10 to get all these prizes. And I know they're like things you probably want to have, totally understandable. But at the same time, if you look at just the regular reward prizes to get 100%, it's actually worth it. You get yourself tokens, you get yourself EXP droplets, you get yourself dream fragments to trade into stores, you get yourself gear, and then lastly you can get yourself free summoning tokens just by playing the game and having a good time, right? So these are things that I want people to remember when they are playing this game. It's all about having a good time and enjoying it. So focus on PvP and all that stuff end game. Don't worry about it early game. Plus, there are things that you don't have to worry about as a free-to-play player and you can do really well in, such as guild events and, like I just showed you, honor duel and these type of Dream World places and the towers, right? So first off, enjoy the game for what it is. Don't worry about competing. That's the first number one piece of advice, okay? Number 2, progression in AFK stages. You actually have to put effort. And I mentioned this before pretty easily. If you don't actually play the game, you're not going to see your progression as a free-to-play player. You're going to end up wasting it, and you're not going to do well. Doing Dream World daily is important. Like, even no matter what rank you get, even if you get no rank, and you just do it a few times, it's going to matter a lot more than you skipping the content completely. Number 2, make sure you are always doing your AFK stages. That is where you're going to get all of your AFK rewards, and most of your stuff will come from there in terms of leveling your characters up, getting the ability to get free loot and rewards such as gear, summoning tokens, etc. Right? You guys can see here, this boss is a free-to-play player. I just started. I'm already hitting at 50-60% now just by competing, putting the proper teams together, etc. So free-to-play players, you can absolutely do that. And if you look at the DPS total here, look at this, right? So just understanding what units to use. All these guys are all easy to acquire for the most part. Now, I got myself I got 59.6%, and that gave me quite a few diamonds, some free gear, level 70 gear especially, some EXP, some dream fragments, and then if I can push a little bit more in the next few days, I can get myself 100% and probably reap these rewards. So always do the content, guys, especially your AFK stuff, okay? Your AFK stages here specifically. For free to play, this is going to be your bread and butter. You're going to want to push this as much as you possibly can. So do not skimp out on this, guys. It will cost you in the long run if you don't, okay? So let's go ahead and do that first. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about in terms of heroes, okay? You guys can see here I have a couple of heroes. I need to replace a few. Some of these heroes are going to be easily replaceable later. As a free-to-play player, your main heroes you want to focus on, there are probably 3 or 4 of them, okay? So Smokey and Murky are probably going to be the best healers / buffers. Rowan is going to be your best support unit for a very long time. Believe it or not, Odie is going to be one of your best top DPS for all content, whether it's bosses or if it's just PvP. It doesn't really matter what you plan to use. Get Odie on your team. Now, with Odie being on your team, you can choose a various group of tanks. You can put like Brutus as an off tank. You can put Entendre as an off tank, as a main tank. Sorry. So you want to work like more on the beast side and highborn side in the beginning, making it a lot easier. Now, Cecilia is a great DPS. She will carry you through story mode, no problem. But the characters I'm mentioning here are going to be multi-use and are probably going to work a lot better for you as a free-to-play player. Also, remember, there is a tier list I put out. Shout out to Pride for putting that tier list together. It's extremely accurate. I would follow that tier list as well to a T. But I promise you guys, there are a lot of good options as free-to-play players early on, especially to help you move on and progress through the story and PvP mode easily. Like easily. So just be patient with it. All right, so that's another thing. Now remember, you also want to push your characters over to the max possible ascension as you can. So mainly going for obviously Supreme. Supreme will unlock your characters, what's it called again? I think it's called exclusive weapons in this game. That's right, exclusive weapons. And those are going to make a massive change in how you play the game and how much you destroy bosses, specifically in Dream World. So first off, Odie, you want to get him to Supreme Plus. Marley is a really good option for Supreme Plus. Corin is a very good Supreme Plus option. Smokey and Murky, you can get them to Mythic and EX plus 5 weapon, or plus 8 if you can. Incredible. Kruger is another really good option here because he has defense reduction for bosses and is actually fairly tanky himself. So these are all units that you actually want to have available to you at all times free to play, because they're like the utility they bring to the game, whether it's buffing, debuffing, or damage, is bar none. So and they're all, again, very easy units to acquire and very easy units to use. Plus it's highborn, and at the same time it's also the beast, right? So very simple. Now Thorin, if you can get Thorin as your best tank, you're set for a while. Thorin will easily tank anything for you and was one of the best ones to do so. So trying to get these guys to Mythic and Supreme are going to be your main goal. So let's go through that again. Odie to Supreme, Marley to Supreme, Corin to Supreme, and then the main utilities you want Smokey and Murky to Mythic, and then EX plus 5, which is going to be, or plus 8 if you can get it to plus 8, that's going to be the weapons, by the way. Thorin to EX plus 5, and Kruger as well too. If you can get him up there, you'll be fine. So that's not a lot of hard units to acquire, nor is it very resource extensive. Okay, so those are some units that you absolutely want to push to the top content as fast as you can as a free-to-play player. Okay, now Arena. You can actually do really well in Arena end game against other whales if you actually put effort and proper team building around. So don't stress about it. It is very possible because at end game everybody's going to be the same level. The only difference is a whale might end up having way more exclusive weapons versus you, or some more dupes than you have. But overall, if you properly set up the team that goes against it, whether it's towards the stage that they're fighting against or towards the units that they're stronger against, you should be fine setting up a pretty decent team and actually competing well against whales. So Arena is all going to matter about a couple different things: your team building abilities and also the stages that you're playing. So as a free-to-play player, just practice and see who's good against who. We'll do more Arena videos in the future, and it should help you guys out and understand. One hero for sure in PvP that's very good is Viperion. So try to focus on him. Thorin pretty much pairs with anybody as a tank. Rowan, again, is very good. Huan, who I have on my team as that healer, that's the girl with the leaf on her head, is incredible. And Graveborn units, for the most part, play very well in PvP mode. So keep that in mind. It's up to you how you set it up, but at the end of the day, for Arena, don't be worried about competing until you are end game, and then you can focus a lot more. Honor duels though, just it's balanced PvP, so just play the game, enjoy it. It's all different modes, and that's a place where free-to-play players who have skill in PvP will absolutely shine, and it doesn't matter how much you spend, it won't make a difference. Okay, so very straightforward. Also, as a free-to-play player, make sure you're doing your battle drills as you're going through the map. Pick up your battle drills and do them all, and also do the co-op boss modes on the map as well too. Don't skimp on those. Sometimes it's difficult to find people to play with, but take your time, focus on finding people, and you guys will reap those benefits and have an immense fun time fighting some of these bosses. They're actually a lot of fun. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about really as a free-to-play player is equipment and your celestial hypogene characters. Okay, so for gear, don't skimp out. Gear is super important. Always in the beginning, guys, start off with your marksmen. Your marksmen are going to be your best damage dealers. As mentioned, there is Cecilia right here on the team. You have Odie, who you definitely want to get up there, and he's a marksman as well, and a few others. So focus on them. Then I would focus on your tanks, and then on your support at the end of that. Okay. Once you have a good setup for equipment, you'll be strolling through. Okay. Make sure you are crafting, recycling, and upgrading your material as often as possible, and that in that case, getting your actual equipment up as well too. Very important, guys, to make sure your equipment stays up to date, and then you take advantage of it by leveling the marksman first and having marksman on your team. Okay. Lastly, the hypogene and celestial heroes. So as free-to-play players, these are the things that are going to be the toughest to get. Okay, they are still possible to get, and one specific one you're looking for is Reiner. So the moment you get Reiner, you're going to have just one copy of him, and he's going to wreck everything for you. He's incredible. So focus on getting him, and then from there, every time you see the ability to get yourself the tokens to buy more of these stellar crystals, pick them up. Whether it's from the arena, which is I think you can buy 5 there, monthly attempts to buy them in the guild store as well too by using diamonds. Make sure you use your diamonds toward those. These are the rarest characters in the game and the hardest ones to acquire for free to play, and this is where the pay to win players will have the biggest advantage, is by getting these units. But if you can at least focus on using your crystals towards stellar crystals and also acquiring them from the arena, you should be able to get yourself quite a few of these, especially in the long run, and be able to dupe them and actually take advantage of some of the hypogene and celestial heroes in the game, who are, in my opinion, some of the best ones to have, just like any light and dark hero characters in every other RPG. Alright guys, that is pretty much my advice for a free-to-play. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, just have fun. Just have fun with the game. I think that's the main piece of advice I can give. A lot of people are going to struggle as free-to-play players because they've never played a game like this. Take your time and learn. That we have guides out for you. Pridewin, shout out to them, have guides for you. I'll be putting out guides as well, and you can just follow my lead. But most importantly, guys, don't worry about being competitive. This game is meant to be what it's called, a journey, and it is AFK. It's meant for you to enjoy the actual gameplay, the stunning graphics, and the storyline, and at the end of the day, just have some fun exploring the game and playing it like it's not a competitive mobile RPG. Alright guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helped you out. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.